Hey y'all, Trapper Bob. I'm in the fur shed. Raining like the dickens outside. Kind of got caught in the rain a little bit. Dispatching that coyote. It did not have the mange, but it did have a lot of cockleburs in it. And I mean a lot. It took me 20 minutes just to brush it out to get all the cockleburs out. I made some bait up yesterday. I'm putting it in my jars now. All I did was take some pork trimmings from the 2 hogs I butchered Saturday. Meat that really had a lot of tendons and stuff in it. I did sneak a little bit of good meat in while my wife wasn't watching. But for the most part, it's rough. Gristly type meat. I had a little bit of liquid predator control left over from my earlier batches. I poured that in. It's got a pretty decent whiff to it. It was about, I'd say, 2 gallons of meat before I ground it up, and then I filled this big stainless steel bowl completely full. This batch is a little dry. My previous batches had a little more moisture in them. I let this set out overnight and I didn't cover it. I think I should have covered it. It probably wouldn't have dried out so bad. But it's not a big deal. All it needs to do is have that good scent. And I didn't put any sodium benzenate in it to stop it from rotting. So what I'm hoping is I will put this in my mini fridge, and as it ages it'll start to ferment. Just add a little stink to it is all. It's got pretty good scent from the predator control bait. That stuff seems to be working really good. This is basically what I did last time. A friend of mine dropped off probably 40 pounds of bratwurst. Let me turn this fan off. Maybe that'll help. Sorry about that, I forgot about the fan. He dropped off about 40 pounds of bratwurst, pork loins and everything that were all seasoned up. Been in his mom's freezer for like 3 years. Freezer burnt real bad. So I took my blender, ground it all up. Ended up with 6 gallons of ground up meat. I let it sit out for almost a week this summer. Got pretty ripe, worked out real nice. Mixed it back up. I had Dunlap's liquid dirt nap. It's a mouse bait lure. I bought 2 different versions of predator control. I think one of them's called Coyote Claymore 2. And then the actual predator control bait. Hold on, I got the empty bottle. Well, I say I do, but oh, here it is. My other garbage can. This stuff here. And the Coyote Claymore 2 comes in a similar type bottle. I just mix that up with my meat, let it spoil a little bit. And when I get it where I want it, I mix sodium benzenate in it, which stops the fermenting. It won't continue to ferment, it won't continue to rot. So that's what I did last time. This time I'm not putting the sodium benzenate in it. Trapping season's here, so I'm getting low on everything but mouse bait. So I mix this predator control up. And my nephew, who dropped me off a raccoon a couple of nights ago, has got some freezer burnt deer meat he's going to give me. So I can grind that up, cut it up, grind it up, and make more bait out of that. So I ended up with 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 and a half jars with almost 2 gallons of meat. I've got a Ninja blender. I'll give you a tour of my trapping shed. I'm sitting out in the trapping shed. There's a coyote I got today. Big, holy cow. I'm 6 foot tall. And after I skinned it and fleshed it, I took it outside to wash it off, get the blood off the fur and the hide. And I could hold it head high and its tail's just about touching the ground. So it's a big coyote. I didn't weigh this one. It didn't feel like it weighed over the 40-pound mark like the other 3 that I've had. So I just decided not to weigh it. Got skunked yesterday. Well, I shouldn't say I got skunked. I had a grinner and a conibear trap and a rabbit. But that was it. Nothing that you can make money on. But it's still okay. The rabbit I kept, I've got 3 rabbits now. I got them thawing out. I had 2 of them froze. I will skin them tomorrow, grind them up. And I got my first weasel. First weasel ever today. He's a stinky fucker. My first weasel. When I went to strip his tail, kind of broke half his tail off. Kind of sucks a little bit. It happens. I don't have a stretcher for the weasel, so I have a real small pair of tongs that I stuck up inside it to separate it so the hide can dry. And since I broke its tail off, about half of it off, I'll probably just keep this one hanging up on my wall. And I've got a mink I got earlier, a few weeks ago, within the first week of trapping season. I'm going to put it on the wall if I can find room. I've got a real pretty coyote hide from last year. Prices were garbage after COVID started. I did sell 3 coyotes, one for $5, one for $10, and one for $25, which I'm kind of upset. I should have just hung on to them because prices are back up pre-COVID right now on coyote, skunk. Mink are doubled in price, which isn't saying much because they were only $6 or $7. So you're talking $12, $14 for a mink, which isn't bad, I guess, if you don't have to put a lot of effort into getting them. They're super easy to skin. I've got all my traps except Coyote Farm and 2 new farms that I set pulled. The 2 farms that I set, I think I said like 20 traps. Coyote Farm, I've still got 2, 4, 7, 8, 10, 15, 16, 17 coyote traps. And roughly, I got 2 conibear and 5 dog-proof traps. Haven't really been getting much of anything. The weasel I got, shockingly, I got in a Belial 160 conibear. I set it on a coon trail, and I've gotten a possum and now a weasel. I do have a weasel box I will take with me tomorrow. I will clean up all my sets tomorrow. I don't know if I'll reset Depends what happens. We've gotten a bunch of rain. They're talking 1 to 2 inches of rain today. So it's probably going to screw up all my coyote sets. My plan tomorrow is to pull the traps out, set them off, clean them up, and dig the hole out where I bed my traps. I've got 12 gallons of dry dirt. If it doesn't look too bad and the ground doesn't froze real bad, I might go ahead and reset. If not, I will wait till probably Thursday. Remake all my sets. This coyote I got today. Oh, sorry. Coyote I got today is number 10 at Coyote Farm. And I am really surprised that it's still producing. I figured I would have about a 2-week dry spell, considering I wiped out a whole pack, and then the 3 from a different pack that I saw come in, I got 2 of them the next day. One of them I showed you had the mange real bad. One whole side of it was gone. I disposed of it. I didn't keep it. There was no hide worth saving on it. If there'd have been the back strip salvageable, I would have came home, skinned it, and kept the back strip, but the hair just pulled right out of the hide. So today I just ran my traps. Haven't had any luck at the other 2 farms. One of the farms, it's a waterway, and the guy's son, whose land I'm trapping, has sheep, and he says there's a lot of coyotes run up in there. What I'm waiting for is for the farmer to disc the field and mow the waterways, so I don't have the same thing happen that I had on the coyote farm where they ran my traps over and set them off. So this time I'm going to wait for both new spots before I set traps. Wait for them to take care of the fields and the waterways. The other farm, it's got a 3 or 4, maybe 5 acre pond on it, and there's windrows in the west side corn, tier stepped, and behind it is a deer management zone. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get a bunch of coyotes out of that area because the windrows will hold mice and stuff, and the deer management zone, the guy that owns it doesn't let anybody in there to hunt or trap except him and his family. So I know there's coyotes in there. I know the water's down on the pond, and I walked all the way around the pond, and there is just tons of coyote tracks all the way around the pond. So it's a matter of timing. I've got 4 coyote sets there. I've found 4 bank dens. I put 2 conibears on 2 of the holes, and I put 2 of my coyote traps on the other 2, thinking that maybe 2 of them are pretty good size holes. I'm thinking maybe an otter. I do have 2 otter tags. Wisconsin just changed their regulations this year. When you get your trapping license, you're issued 2 otter tags. I haven't gotten into my water sets too much. I did go out and put some mink sets in yesterday, some 110s on a couple different creeks, and a farm I've got that I've trapped already where I got the badger. Up by the buildings and stuff, there's mink. I've gotten 1 mink out of there, but I've seen a couple different color phase minks in there, so I plan on setting more mink traps over there. Not that mink's worth a whole lot, but they're pretty neat animals. They stink. They stink to high heaven, but they're pretty cool. And I'm running conibears on trail sets, and I'll be running conibears on water sets. So I don't really have an expense. I did buy some sardines. I'm going to mash up into a paste and make some cubbyhole sets along the creek banks for mink and raccoon. I've got some 1.5 coil springs on drowning rigs, little 6-foot drowning rigs. I've got another farm. I'm waiting for deer season to be over, which is probably December. I've got a farmer that's got a huge beaver problem. The dam is roughly 70 yards long and about 6.5, 7 foot tall. The reason he let the beavers go so long is because he thought they were pretty and cool to begin with, and now they've plugged up the creek and flooding his pasture. So after deer season, I'm gonna go after beaver and coyote and raccoon on his farm. It's a little bit more of a drive. It's about a 10-15 minute drive one way, so I'm going to save that till late in the season. I'll be using cable restraints. Wisconsin, we're not allowed snares. It's a cable restraint. Difference is it's got a stopper on the slide to where it will not choke the animal to death. When you get there, the animal is alive, just like in a foothold trap, and you have to dispatch it. The reason for that is all the domestic animals. I did catch a dog in one last year. My neighbor's dog, they hunt coyotes with dogs, and the dog came through a trail that the coyotes run, and I got him in the cable restraint, and he said he got to the dog and the dog was just sitting there waiting for him. He said he slid it up, took it right off, and off they went. No harm, no foul. So I can't wait till that starts. That's December 7th, I think. I can start putting cable restraints out. I have 82 of them ready. They are extremely fast and very efficient to set up. I can set a cable restraint on a trail in 2 to 3 minutes, where a dirt hole set takes 5 to 10 minutes per trap. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I can get a lot more traps out and cover a lot more territory. So I'll quit rambling on here and I'll kind of give you a tour of the old trapping shed. This is an old room in a barn, and it hadn't seen any action in well over 50 years. So my landlord I did a bunch of trapping for last year said he would give me the room. I just have to clean it up and I could do whatever I wanted in here. So that's what I did. The wife helped me. We rented a 30-yard trash roll-off dumpster, and we filled it. I should say I did most of that work because it was dirty, nasty, and I had to wear a respirator. So this is my skin and Gabriel. I've got disposable aprons I wear. I skin there, and then I throw my hides on this table. I designed the table so that during the off season I can flip it up. I got a piece of wire right here that holds it up so I can keep the area clean. There's my fleshing knives. My favorite, my Weeby. Day I got it, I dropped it less than 2 feet and the damn handle broke. Called the company, told them about it, never heard back. So I don't know if I'll ever purchase another Weeby knife. I mean, I really like the knife. I still use it every day. But when the time comes for a new knife, I'm probably going to look into something different. This is kind of a trophy wall. This is a coyote that my neighbor gave me last year. He shot it, had a pretty big hole in the side, so I thought I'd just keep it instead of selling it. Here's a drag. I've never used them, but I bought 3 trappers out this summer, and he had the drag, so I thought it'd look cool hanging on the wall. This is an old coil or long spring loss proof trap, and another long spring. This one had a tag on it dated back to 1952, I believe it was, or no, 55 and 56. Here's another old double long spring. Here's some old coil spring. This is a, I can't see without my glasses. This one had a tag on it from the 40s. I can't make out what it says. It's a #1 coil spring. And here's another old coil or old long spring. That one's probably, I want to say, a 30s or 40s trap. And there's another one. That one's a Victor. Obviously, it's got the V on it. And here's an old jump trap. Big, I think it's a #4, I believe. Old jump trap. And another coyote from my neighbor. I skinned them and fleshed them. Prices were shitty, so I just kept them. Here's a big old jump trap, beaver size, an old Victor. I put up just for decoration. And some pictures. This is my Ninja blender. It works extremely well for grinding up my meat. I did buy a cheap Walmart blender, one of them $10 ones, and the very first time I ground up bait, it took me an hour to do like 2 pounds because it kept heating up and shutting off. So I told my wife I wanted a good blender, and I found one on Marketplace, less than $100, and it was brand new. So I think I got a pretty good deal, and it has performed flawlessly. Here's me with a couple of big coons I got last year. My wedding day, we got married in Vegas. She had her boys out there. And there's first batch of coons and possums I got last year. Got a TV, not that it matters, it don't work, can't get any reception. Some storage space. My stretchers and my fur hangers. Each one of these hangers right here has 12 coons, so that's 24, and I've got 9 coyotes on this hanger. This one over here will be 10, and then that's probably all I'll put on it. And we're working on filling my 3rd raccoon one. I think we got 2, 4, 6, 8 there, so 4 more, and that one will be full. I'll have 36. There's some more stretchers. I've got wooden stretchers, wire stretchers, anything from muskrat up to big coyotes. Here's a deadhead I found this past spring mushroom hunting. Nice buck. And my fleshing beams. I designed them both so that they could fold up out of the way. That way, during the spring or summer when I'm in here, maybe drying dirt, I can have the whole floor area. There's what I dispatch the animals with. 22 caliber pellet gun. And this is another workbench. The other bench I use strictly for grinding meat. Here's my refrigerator that I'll be putting the bait in. That was completely full when season started. There's just a couple different kind of baits in there now. And my workbench. This is where I've got to work on traps. I've got a MB650 that I'm kind of disappointed in. It won't take much to fix it. It just bent the wing here. I was being a dumbass and smacked it on the concrete instead of taking the time to wash it off. And then Here's one of my Bridger #2 fully modifieds. I've got to replace the J hooks and put a shock spring in it. Tractor kind of got that one. There's the weasel I got. My rabbits I got a skin. Collection of turkey feathers. Some earth anchors that I keep hung up. And I got some snares. Now I bought, like I said, 3 trappers out this summer. And they had them snares. Which technically in Wisconsin, the only way you can use a snare is if it's underwater, or at least 3/4 of the way underwater. So I'm probably gonna just give them away to someone, because I'm not really doing the whole snare thing, I don't think. So yeah, that's my workbench. I've got some brand new 16-foot drowning rigs. My plan is to buy some MB 750s for beaver. Here's the mink I got. Kind of a pretty mink, dark brown. I couldn't get him off the stretcher, so I ended up having to cut him up the center, so I won't be able to sell him. And this is my coyote last year. The last one I got in the cable restraint. By far my biggest last year and the prettiest. It was right at the end of season. She's furred up really heavy. And here's a raccoon I'm gonna wash up and tan and put on the wall. I haven't tanned any of my furs, the ones I got hanging on the wall. I just fleshed them really good and hung them up to dry. And I haven't had any trouble with mold or smell or anything. So that's a tour of my trapping shed. And here is the coyote I got today, fleshed out. I'm going to turn it so you can actually kind of get a visual. It is a big one. It was a big male. It wasn't real, but it was nice. Here's a look at my hides one more time. Coyotes, you always hang fur out. You let them dry for roughly 12 to 24 hours. Fur side in, and then you take and flip them fur side out and let them dry the rest of the way. So this one here I got today, so tomorrow morning after I run traps. Hey y'all, sorry about that. I had a little malfunction. I guess I should have had the selfie stick out. I wanted to give a shout out to my subscriber Noah. He made the comment about a microphone. I actually did check into it, and I can get me a Bluetooth microphone and a tripod for about $65–70 on Amazon. So here in a couple weeks, when I get a little money ahead, I will buy that. So that way when I'm out in the field, I can make more videos, a little better videos where you can hear me clearer, and I can actually set the tripod up and you'll be able to see me remake sets or make sets from the beginning to the end. Right now I'm kind of limited. I was saying something else. My furs. The fur buyers want, on coyotes, they want the fur side out. So I dry fur side in on the coyotes for roughly 12 to 24 hours, depending on how wet I get them, because I always wash the hide and the fur after I'm done fleshing. Raccoons, hide side out always. Cut the bottom even, and then cut your front legs off and cut a sight window so the fur buyer can just look at it and see the fur on his back, how thick and the color. You guys like and subscribe, share my videos. I don't know if the last video I got in there, I plan on some giveaways. Something small for the first one. My goal for the first giveaway is 250 subscribers. Probably give away some lure and baits. 500 subscribers, we might step it up a notch. Maybe give away like a half dozen dog-proof traps. And then when I hit 1,000 subscribers, if I hit 1,000, probably give away like a half dozen coyote traps of your choice, like MB550s or Bridger number 2s. Those two are hands down my favorite. I do have some MB650s that are just awesome traps, but where I trap, that's a bit of an overkill. I don't get into wolves around here, so I don't have to worry about a big strong trap. But my MB550 and the Bridgers, I do believe would hold a wolf. So, but that's a story for another day. This is my third video. I kind of screwed up on the last one, bumped the screen and it shut off. So we'll put an end to the day, and I will catch you tomorrow on the trap line. If you want to see me remake some of these muddy, rained out sets, let me know. And I will do my best to make a video either tomorrow or Thursday when I remake the sets. Thanks again. Catch you out on the line. Morning, everybody. Trapper Bob. We're out at the Coyote farm. I checked my other farms. I've counted 24 traps out at the other places. I'm waiting for them to take care of the cornfields, disc the fields up so I can put more traps. But Coyote farm paid off again. I reset this set yesterday. It had, the trap had been tripped. I ran it over with the side-by-side. It's kind of a flat dirt hole set. And this is what we got. You gonna talk, buddy? Huh? Get a little better picture here. My camera on my phone isn't the greatest. Well, bark. Ruff. First I thought he had the mange again when I came up, but looks like he just got a bunch of briars and sticky stuff in his fur. Looks pretty furred out. I'll know better once I get him taken care of. I hear rain coming, so I'm going to get this taken care of. We got 1 to 2 inches of rain today. I will talk to you later. And Noah, I checked into microphone and a tripod, and I will be purchasing one within the next few weeks. I got to get the $70 to do it, but we'll get her done. Here comes the rain. I'll talk to you soon.